You know, one of the most enjoyable times I have is hunting and fishing with my kids. See if you can lift him up both. Ah!
There he is. There's the Seth man. Ran video. Seth, you're only 12. It's pretty cool taking your boys hunting.
Hey.
Pretty darn cool. They did good too. I was proud of both of them.
Beautiful white-tailed deer right there. Look at that.
1, 2, 3. I'm skipping school.
I'm skipping school.
That's awesome.
Such a good influence.
You know, introducing the kids to the outdoors is natural. It comes easy for parents, whether that's in the backyard, whether that's swimming, whether that's hiking, canoeing, kayaking, any of those things come really natural. Sometimes the tougher thing is introducing kids to fishing and hunting, especially for parents that may not be super familiar with fishing or hunting themselves. And you know what's a funny thing with kids? Kids mature at different ages, and what's right for one 6-year-old may not be right for another one. So one of the things that I learned with my kids is that they were all different, and my boys all matured at different levels. You know, I think parents naturally have a little bit of a feel, or anybody really. It could be a mentor, an uncle, an aunt, you know, grandparents, have a little bit of a natural feel when they spend enough time around boys or girls for when they're ready to be introduced to hunting. And that starts with taking them out with you or taking them out with friends. And then I think it's a natural progression into how that transgresses to putting food on the table. For my kids, I think part of the passion for hunting was I had to learn not to be so serious. I'm a pretty serious hunter, so that it means nothing to me to get up at 3 in the morning and hike a few miles in the snow and be uncomfortably hot or cold and go after a target animal. But what I learned from being with my kids and friends' kids is that you got to make it fun. And when the kids start getting too tired, or you can tell they're not really into it, it's time to sword fight with some sticks. It's time to play around and not worry about, you know, the actual hunt, and try and make it an enjoyable experience all the way around. You know, I started my kids out on small game, rabbits, squirrels, even frogs. So for me, I really think that my kids gravitated toward hunting because it was fun. I tried to make it fun. I didn't try and take my hardcore, all right, we're gonna sit all day in the stand today, or we're gonna hike 5 miles after this elk. I think making it more fun, and that meant sometimes not really hunting at all. Granted, I might be in the field with a bow or a gun or a muzzleloader or whatever that was, but to turn it into something fun. And if that meant not really hunting or stopping hunting after 30 minutes and just picking up swords or sticks and playing around or goofing off or looking at a bird or an animal and talking about that, well, then that was the important thing to do. But I do encourage everybody to get kids involved in hunting. I think it's also an important aspect of showing them where food comes from. But as a father who raised boys that are passionate about the outdoors, enjoy fishing, enjoy hunting, and understand where food comes from, I think it's one of the best things you can do for your kids and a great time to bond with them. One of the things that worried me, but I think it's natural with kids, is they thought like, I don't want to skin a deer, that's kind of gross. But once I did it with them, they were fascinated. Kids have a natural interest. They naturally want to learn. And so it was, oh my gosh, that's the heart, that's the lungs, you know, that's the liver. It was almost like an anatomy lesson while we were breaking down the deer. So that was really fun for me and something that kind of surprised me. You know, I thought, man, you know, when my youngest son said, I don't know, that's gonna be kind of gross. But then we started doing it. He found it fascinating and learned a lot about animal anatomy and about his own body by going through and skinning out an animal and gutting it. So I encourage all the fathers, the mothers, the aunts, the uncles, the grandparents, or even as a mentor to a friend's child, take them out and take them hunting. Wait until it's the right age, and everybody's different, but go out and experience that with them and introduce them to it. And if it takes, great. And if it doesn't, that's okay too. I'm Fred Eichler, encouraging you to take a kid hunting. It'll mean a lot to them, and you might be surprised how much it ends up meaning to you.
And I'll never forget this hunt.
You'll never forget this hunt? Me either, buddy.